Hey guys, and welcome to the patch notes for the 18th of July, 2018 patch. So, in this patch, there are some pretty big changes to Node Wars, an extension on the Termian event, and a few other decent changes, including a brand new food item for feeding workers. So, the Termian Water Park has been extended by 1 week. It will stay open until July 25th before maintenance, and all events and minigames will also be available until July 25th. During this week, you can also earn double the Termian Pearls. So if you haven't earned your Dual Crescent Ring or anything else you want to exchange for from the Otter, you still have an opportunity to do so, provided you have not already finished the quest. For everyone else, the Pearls can also be exchanged for silver, so it's a pretty good idea to keep doing these quests, as you will get a pretty good benefit from it. In addition to that, the Mysteries of Summer Challenge has also been extended by 1 week. The quests for this challenge have also been made easier so that players can do them without having to go through the insane difficulty that the players competing to do them did. However, the rewards have been lowered, and the titles will no longer be given out to anyone that does these quests after the maintenance has already passed. Moving on, we have the ongoing events, which is Mysteries of Summer, Termian Water Park, and Loyal Attendance Rewards, so all those. And the Summer Activities Screenshot Contest has ended. Now on to the big part of this patch, Node War. So the Node War system is totally changing this patch. The new nodes will be classified into normal nodes and conquest nodes, and the conquest nodes are further classified into 3 different tiers. So the highest tier gives more taxes to collect. Normal nodes give the least amount of tax to collect each week, and you also cannot own both a conquest node and a normal node at the same time. Conquest nodes are essential if you want to participate in Siege. So Node Wars will now be available daily for guilds to participate in, so that adventurers can enjoy large-scale battles more regularly. And as a result, the maximum number of nodes that one guild can occupy will be extended from 2 to 6 nodes. Instead, guild members who can participate in the Node Wars will be decided by the number of nodes occupied by the guild. So here's where it gets a little confusing. Currently, you can own a max of 6 nodes, and the number of participants you can have in Node War depends on how many nodes you already own. If you own 5 nodes, you cannot even have anyone fight in the Node War, you can only try to snipe. If you own no nodes, you can have 100 participants, going down by 20 for each node that you own. So the general formula is 100 minus n times 20, where n is the number of nodes you own. If that makes sense to anyone. Guild masters can also assign a chance to occupy to the guild members through guild window. This decides how many node wars the relevant guild members will be allowed to participate in during the week that they are assigned. And the chance to occupy for guild members will reset at the end of Conquest Wars on Saturdays. As previously stated, normal nodes and conquest nodes cannot be occupied at the same time by the same guild. So, the chance to occupy is one of the bigger changes. You can place chance to occupy on 20 members at a time. The English is pretty bad here. Regardless of actual participation of the guild member, the one change to occupy will be deducted for every successful occupation of a node from a guild. So how it works is you're given a number of charges. You can grant the charges to various guild members. So if you were given 100 charges, you could give 20 guild members 5 charges, as each guild member can only have at most 5 charges per week. And a charge is not consumed simply by participating. It only gets consumed if you win the node. So if your entire guild has 1 charge each, 100 charges divided by 100 people, then you guys can keep doing node wars until you win a node, at which point everyone will lose 1 charge, and everyone will go down to 0 charges. However, even if you didn't participate in the guild war, as long as you had a charge applied to you, if the guild wins the node war, then you do lose that charge. So if you were given a charge and your guild does node wars on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you can only make Wednesday and Friday, but they win on Monday, you won't be able to participate on Wednesday and Friday because your charge will be used up by winning on the Monday node war. So it's a lot more confusing than before, but basically strong guilds can now occupy a lot more nodes, as 20 players that have full soft cap or above can trash tier 1 guilds pretty easily. Guild members participating in the Node Conquest War can be decided via the chance to occupy system. Guild officers can use the system as well as the GM. And guild members who do not have a chance to occupy remaining will be classified as non-participant and cannot take part in the node war. So if you go there, you can't attack anyone. However, you can be attacked. So here's the little chart they've showed. Basically, it says that yeah, you need as many charges to occupy as you've won nodes that week, +1. So if you've already won 4 nodes, you have to have been given 5 chances to occupy in order to fight in the node war. Conquest War, however, so sieges, for those that this applies to, allows at max 100 guild members to participate regardless of the number of nodes occupied by the guild. So your full guild can participate in the siege regardless of how many nodes you own before the siege starts. Sieges have received a few new rules as well. Basically, from the number of conquest nodes, excluding the normal nodes, guilds with 2 or more nodes occupied can build fort or command posts. So you cannot have normal nodes, you have to have conquest nodes, and you have to have 2 or more if you want to place on the castle for the week. So then they restate the exact same thing. And they're changing a bunch of resources. Castlegate Resurrection Point for offensive and defensive have been changed to make it easier to get back into the action after you die. Cannons cannot be installed inside the castle in Conquest Wars anymore. How taxes are applied hasn't changed. Not going to go too in-depth on that though. And several guilds can participate and win the castle all at once. However, if they decide to duke it out and only one guild wins, that guild is the only one that will claim the 20% of the tax collected. So, other parts that affect everyone are damage of basic attacks, horn attack, fort chop, and the elephant used on Castle Gate has been changed. So I'll scroll down to the node war section because this changes for everyone, I believe. Basically, however, one of the big changes is resurrection no longer happens. If you die while fighting, then your body instantly disappears, which means resurrection and medkits can no longer be used. This is a little bit of a hit to wizards and witches in the balance patch, despite them not getting balanced, because that takes away a fairly large part of their utility in node wars. Damage from flame towers and hawachas has also been increased. Movement speed of certain siege items has been increased. Lots of durability increases. Damage from horses and elephants on cannons and other placed items has been massively increased. Same with elephant. So you can see all of this. Production time for Siege Workshop, Large Siege Tower, and Flag Factory have all been reduced. Here it is. So if the adventurer dies during node or conquest wars, the corpse will disappear right away, and medical kit and resurrection skills will no longer be applicable. There's also a new view mode where you can observe the node and conquest wars from the ally's point of view called Ally Viewpoint. Use F5 to switch views between your still surviving allies while using this feature. And then the node and conquest wars schedule is the same as before. So for EU it's Sunday to Saturday, for NA it's Saturday to Sunday. Well, Sunday to Friday node war. I don't know why they switched it up. So Sunday to Friday node war, Sunday to Friday node war, Saturday conquest war, Saturday conquest war. And here are the times for NA and EU. Tax collection has also been simplified a little, so you don't have to worry about optimal time to claim. Just make sure you have enough members. So this, I'm going to skip past the classification of all the various nodes. There will be a link in the description for those that want to see them. Here are the areas. Here are normal nodes, Conquest Tier 1 nodes, which have the most, Tier 2, and Tier 3 nodes. Guild Alliance is new content that will be updated in the near future, but for now, neglect it as it's not available as of today's maintenance. And there will be a special event to introduce these new changes that we will see later this week, or at least see announced. Finally, moving on to other important changes this patch, new transport route has been added between Sandgrain Bazaar and Alta Nova. This is pretty big news for anyone that likes transporting stuff, as this has long been a fairly annoying place to have to transport goods between. Fix the issue where clicking Get All button would only receive items one by one when there are both items to send and receive on the transport list. You can no longer polish an alchemy stone if it's been fully upgraded, and the max amount of skill experience obtained for completing guild quests has been increased. Application for Black Desert Global Lab will be given once per family, only in NA though. There are a few class changes this week, nothing too big. Ninja got a few small changes that sort of nerf his concealment a little. Kunoichi, same thing. And then Mystic got a few other small changes as well. The other big change this patch is there are 2 new food items, 5-grain chicken porridge and grilled bird meat. So here are the ingredients. For the 5-grain chicken porridge, you need ground bird meat times 2, mineral water times 2, and wheat times 3, although I believe it can be any grain. And this gives you plus 5% amity for 75 or 60 minutes, depending on if you get the blue item or not. The grilled bird meat, or steaming hot if you get the blue version, is 2 chicken meats, 6 deep frying oils, 2 cooking wines, and a salt. And this one gives worker stamina recovery plus 3, same as blue beer. So this is pretty huge, as this finally gives us something to use all that chicken from the egg nodes on, and also is a way to recover worker stamina without having to use grains on beer. This is a pretty nice recipe to include in the game, and a lot of people are pretty happy about it. There's also a new Imperial cooking box that has been added, Apprentice's 5-grain chicken porridge cooking box. And a new processing ingredient has been added, which is ground bird meat obtained by grinding, used in the 5-grain chicken porridge. 4 new guild accessories have also been added to the guild shop. These items only last for 7 days and cannot be enhanced, so don't buy them thinking that you're going to have them permanently. You can purchase these items at a guild shop from any guild manager NPC. They can be purchased with guild funds by any guild member, however your guild allowance must be set higher than the price of the item in order for you to purchase that item. And they have the same stats as the tri versions of Crescent Ring, Tungrat Earring, Ogre Ring, or Bazzy Belt. So you can see it's the Crimson Baron's Ring, Earring, Belt, and Necklace, or the Crimson Shadow Ring, Earring, Belt, and Necklace. As you can see, some pretty nice AP on all of them. Pretty hefty price, especially as only a rental. However, for important players in the guild that may have blown up one of their accessories that week without a replacement, this is a decent way to give them a little boost in power to keep them at their regular level for the week. However, the price is rather exorbitant, for most normal guilds anyways. Apart from that, there's not too many other big changes this week. There's a few monster changes, some new titles for hunting, a few new knowledges, and some interface changes. But the big story this week is definitely the huge changes to the Conquest Wars, the brand new bird meat, and the extension of the Termian event for another week. Anyways guys, these are the patch notes for the 18th of July 2018 patch. They were pretty big this week, a lot of changes, not necessarily for better or worse, but we shall see going forward if these Conquest changes are a good thing, starting on Sunday when Node Wars officially open back up. Anyways guys, as always, I'm Lighthouse. Subscribe if you liked it. Thanks for watching this video. Hope it helped, and have a good one.